business struggling and you're wondering why, today I'm going to share with you a couple of tips of why your business is struggling. Um, it's so important that you keep track of your finances when you start a business, because remember that if you take out a loan to start a business, even if your business fails, you are still responsible for paying back that loan. So it's so important to make sure that you have your finances in order. Number one, as a business owner, you want to make sure you have a budget. Just like we have a budget in our personal life, you want to have a budget in your business also. So, for example, if you buy office supplies, so every month you should have a budget for office supplies. Um, you should exactly have a budget for um, any other type of supplies. You want to have a budget. That's so important. So, what I mean by that, you have to know exactly how much each month you want to pay um, for certain items. So if I would come up to you and ask you, okay, how much do you spend for office supplies? You should be able to tell me quickly, okay, this is what I budget for office supplies. Um, this is what I um, budget for marketing, because you have to have a budget, because if you don't have a budget, your finances is just going to be out of control. Number two, mixing business and personal. It's so important that as a business owner, you want to make sure that you do not mix your business and your personal together. I'm a bookkeeper and I do bookkeeping, and it's such a mess when you mix personal and business expenses, because you don't want to do that. You want to make everything easy to understand. Also, underpricing your services. A lot of times you need to sit and reevaluate your prices. You may be charging too low of a price. Because remember, in accounting, you have to remember the cost of goods. That's how much you paid for the products. Plus, you're going to add you're going to add what it took to make the product. So you don't want to have your services or your pricing um, too low. Today is Sunday, and I'm a business owner. Um, I know that Sundays, the weekends, you want to have fun, you want to relax. But it's a good idea to also, on the weekend, go through your finances for the week. I would pick like maybe a Sunday and just see how you did for the week. So that way you can analyze, what changes you need to make. In bookkeeping, we do the bookkeeping once a month, but I don't think anything wrong with going through it like once a week. You can never, go over your finances too much, because I noticed lately that a lot of businesses have been closing down. And, when you start a business, some people, they take out loans. Some people, they take money out of their 401k. Um, we don't want to waste money. We want to be able to make money, and we want to be able to invest money. Um, and like I said before, remember, if you take out a loan, and even if your business closed, you still have to pay that money back. Also, it's a good idea to look at your cost of overhead. Um, you know, that means a lot, when you start a business. You want to keep your overhead low. Um, so it's a good idea. You still want to be in a good place where, you have a lot of foot traffic, but that overhead, it has to be low because you might have slow times. And, you still want to be able to, um, you still want to be able to not have to worry about, stressing. Because as a business owner, it could be stressful. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you don't want to, have that. Just like any job, any business, you don't want that to start affecting your home life. Um, and like I said, you don't want it to start, um, affecting your health. So it's a great idea before you actually start the business, make sure you do your research. And if you have a business, you may have to downsize, to a smaller building that's cheaper. For an example, there's a accounting firm that is close by me. They had they were in a big building, but they got this building, and what the owner did, it used to be one building, but what he did, he turned it into like 4 offices. So, now he's making, more revenue. I mean, that was a smart idea. But the accounting firm, they moved into one of the um, one of the offices. Is smaller, but I mean, they're saving so much money, and they're still able to, to service their customer. Also, too much debt is another reason why a lot of business owners is going out of business. It's a great idea to, if you have personal debt, come up with a plan of how you can reduce your personal debt. Also, your business may have a lot of debt, so it's a great idea to consider coming up with a plan of how you can pay down your business debt also. Um, Another thing is, I want to talk about marketing. As a business owner, it's so important to make sure you focus on marketing. Think of ways of how you can um, pay down your debt. Like, you may want to have specials. Like, for example, there's a cupcake shop, and every every Thursday she has cupcakes for half off. So the cupcakes are normally like $5, but she has, on Thursday, she has the cupcakes for half off just on Thursday. So it's a great idea to consider what type of special that you can have. Like I said, you don't have to do it every day. You might want to pick one day a week. You can do like maybe buy one, get one half off. If you're a service business, you can do, if you refer someone, I'll give them half off. So you just want to think of ways that you can have specials. And then once you start having specials, you'll get repeated customers, because they'll be like, oh, wow, I remember, every Thursday, um, they have half off, or, every Friday night, um, you can bring one person and get the other person, their meal can be half off. So you want to have a lead magnet. You want to have something that's going to actually bring the customer in. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is so important in your business. You have to keep track of your expenses. This is so important. So you have to know what your revenue is and what your expenses. The reason why you want to do this is because You want to be able to track your expenses. You want to be able to know what adjustments you need to make as a business owner. I have a couple clients who I do bookkeeping for, and I do the bookkeeping once a month, and I send them a financial report so that way they'll know, how their business is doing. So it's such a great idea to consider hiring a bookkeeper, or you can um, you can do bookkeeping your own. I use QuickBooks. I have a link in my description where you can click on to sign up for QuickBooks. You can sign up for QuickBooks if you're just getting started. You can sign up for less than $30 a month. And the good thing about um, if you hire a bookkeeper, or if you hire an accountant, a CPA, you can write that off in your taxes. Um, so someone asked, what type of business do I run? Right now, I am a bookkeeper. I do business consulting, and I am a life insurance. I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. Um, I love helping business owners because money is important. A lot of people, they have the idea, well, it doesn't matter, but it's good. I'm not, you don't supposed to love it, but to me, money, it matters. It's important. It's good to, um, to have options. And also, like I was saying, with bookkeeping, it's so important to make sure you do bookkeeping. If you use QuickBooks, you can actually they have an app. You can you can upload your receipts and it'll go directly into QuickBooks. Or um, if I'm your bookkeeper, I can attach a copy of the receipt in QuickBooks. Because remember, as a business owner, just in case you get audited, they're going to want to see all of your receipts. So the good thing about bookkeeping, you can attach it. So for my clients, if they need a receipt, if they went to Walmart, the Walmart receipt will be attached right next to the transaction in bookkeeping. Also, if you're a new business and you're not ready for bookkeeping, um, you can do it the old-fashioned way. I mean, you can have a file cabinet, and what I would do, I would organize everything, by month, and I would put all of my receipts in there. Um, and the fourth quarter, it starts in October. So that's a great time to go ahead and do tax planning. Um, you can contact a CPA, or your bookkeeper, and a CPA or an accountant. They'll be able to help prepare you for tax season. So that's why, like in October, a lot of corporations and a lot of business, they buckle down. They look at their finances and they're like, okay, what changes we need to make for next year. So these are a couple things that I just wanted to go over you, why you may, be suffering as a business owner. Another thing, remember, as a business owner, you need a emergency fund also. So when you get money coming in, you need to put that money into a separate savings account for your business. That way, just in case, those slow months. Because I was talking to someone the other day, and he has a landscape business, and he was saying, oh boy, it's going to start getting slow, which it is. It's August, but he knows, hey, um, it's going to start getting slow and he's not financially prepared. So my advice for him is, you need to start, saving some money, because you're going to have, every year it's going to start getting slow. Maybe adding different services to your business. Um, Something that you can do, when it's, when it's slow, starting with, September, when people may not be getting, getting landscape services. So thank you for joining me, and reach out to me, and I am happy to assist you. And remember, if you're a business owner and you feel like you are sinking, um, make sure you reach out to a business consultant. I do business consultant, um, because we don't want to waste any money, because money is valuable. Because I noticed that a lot of businesses, they're closing down, and we don't want to waste any money. Because we can take that money and we can invest with the goal as a business is to grow. And the main thing is, if you notice that you're having a problem in your business, you want to figure out, hey, why is my business suffering? And you have to look at your numbers. um, because I was talking to one person, and they had a business, and some of the customers, they didn't realize, okay, why can't you spend this amount of money on something. So a lot of people looking on the outside, looking at businesses, and they're seeing them, they're booming, but you really don't know how a business is doing until you really look at their finances, the paper, what's on black and white. So that's why I was saying it's so important that you make sure, as a business owner, you track your expenses. Like I said, I would do it every month. Like I said, it's Sunday today. I'm going to look over my stuff for today. And that way I'll be able to know, okay, what adjustments I need to make. Because, like I said, when some people, when they start their business, they use their 401k, they take out loans, um, they may use their last source of income. And I want to see your business grow. So remember, just continue on following me weekly, and please subscribe to my channel.